there folks, welcome you all to yet another cheap little vlog of mine on the telephone machine, people. We're back on the iPhone 14 using the selfie stick once again, people. It went down quite well last time, and hopefully the sound quality of these headphones slash microphones that come with the iPhone machine is good enough for you guys. It seems to be, and it's still the best. I keep saying this every time I do a vlog on the telephone machine, but it's the best mic quality that I found recording like this. Like, obviously when I record properly through the camcorder, I use my Rode NT microphone on the laptop and I record the sound separately and then smelt it together with the camcorder footage, and we get that pristine quality sound, like podcast sound. But obviously with this, I've just yet to find another suitable thing that is just a microphone that does a good quality sound better than these wired iPod headsets. iPod? Bloody hell, that's going back a bit. But you know what I mean. Are they called iPods? What are they called, people? Anyway, it's good to be using the selfie stick again, people. We can have a wander about, can't we? Here's Max, here's some news for you, people. Flaggins up to you all before we go any further, people. Yes, indeed. It is Flaggins Up Saturday. It's Saturday the 28th of December 2024 for those people watching in the future. And I thought I'll have a little tipple in the run-up to New Year. It's only my second tipple over the Christmas break and only my second tipple since summer. I think I said in the last vlog, I hadn't had a tipple since summer. What was that? That was pre-Christmas, wasn't it? Yes, here's some news, people. So those astute of you who watched the last vlog might notice something different behind me here. Hey, I'll give you a little minute to think about it. Max, as of today, is now a crate-free dog, people. I'm going to call him a dog now. There's not much puppy left in him, people. He's over a year old now, just there behind me. So he is now allowed to sleep anywhere he likes, downstairs. So he gets the whole of the downstairs. When I go out or leave him alone, which isn't that often, he's now allowed to just have the freedom of the downstairs. And I've been doing that quite regularly in the run-up to the Christmas dinner. I think I talked about that last time I did a vlog. And when I went off to the Christmas dinner, so I'd left him probably for about an hour by himself, not in his crate, sort of locked in it, and just leaving him to roam around the downstairs. And then the Christmas dinner came along, and that was about 4.5 hours that I left him, and he was fine. And then over the last 3 nights, is it 2 nights? 2 or 3 nights, I've basically just been because I was still closing his crate at night and keeping him in there so that he couldn't wander about at night time. But I've now, over the last 2 to 3 nights, stopped doing that, and I've just left the crate open and then sort of watched him in the little camera downstairs to see what he did. The first night I did it, he slept in the crate anyway for nearly the whole time. Well, as far as I can tell, the whole time. And then, other than when I woke up in the morning, he wasn't in there. He'd sort of moved on to the couches. And then it was only 2 nights. And the second night, which was last night, I watched him in the camera and he went in there. He sort of sat in there for a little bit, and then he basically just shifted away from there and moved on to the sofa. And that was him pretty much for the whole night, I think. So at that point, I thought, well, I think it's time to just try him without the crate. He obviously has realised that he's allowed to just go anywhere, and therefore he's not going to sit in the crate now. So that's what I did today, people. I cleared that crate away, gave the area a bit of a clean down, and I nearly bought him another bed, but I thought, well, he's got another bed upstairs that he sleeps in if I'm working away, which is my desk's upstairs for when I work my day job, people. So that can be brought down, but I bought him another one of them for down here, and then I thought, well, it's just it's a bit of a waste, really, because if he's just going to sleep on the couches anyway, and he's also got, I don't know if you can see it, but let's have a look, people, but he's also got like a version of it that's a flat version of it. Ooh, yeah, down there, look. So he's got this little cushion bed thing here that he can sleep on. So when I'm lying on the couch, he actually jumps up on the couch with me most of the time now. But if I'm lying on the couch, sometimes if he's too hot, he'll come and lie there instead. But so he's got that option, and I've brought some blankets down. I'll just put some blankets sort of on that and see if he uses them. But I think he's warm enough anyway. I don't think he needs them. So that's been it's been really nice, because now behind me I've got my little area back to how I had it now before I got Max. So we've now got the electric guitar on the right hand side there, or left hand side, depending which way you're looking at it, and that was the side, and you can see Max's toy box is on top of the amp now. So you've got the electric guitar on the amp, and then you've got the acoustic on the other side, but that's where Max's crate was there. So I've now got this little chill area back to how it was, people, before Max came along, which is nice. Nice to have the house back like that. I mean, this is what I always wanted. I didn't want to be locking him in a crate. I just wanted to make sure that I could trust him around the house without chewing stuff up and everything. And there we are. He's been brilliant. I couldn't have asked for a better dog, people. He's been absolutely fantastic. So there we are. We now have a crate-free dog, people. Would you believe it? Eh? At a year old. So I mean, I don't know what other people's journeys are like with dogs. I know some people just keep them in the crates, sort of forever. Really, they just keep a crate going. But you know, not all dogs can be trusted. They're all different. Well, not like that, you know. But they're all different. Some are more boisterous than others. Some are more chewy than others. Some never really settle down with toiletries and stuff like that. So if you keep them in the crate, it makes it easier and what have you. But I've never had any of these problems with Max, really. So fingers crossed, people have made the right decision at the right time. So he's now got the freedom of. Well, he is allowed upstairs, but when we go to sleep, I shut the living room door and I go upstairs, and he's got the whole downstairs just to do what he wants to do. So that was the only rule really that remains is he's not allowed on the beds upstairs. And that's it, people. Well, there you go. That's it. That's my news for today. Should we sign off now? I think I should talk about games, eh? What do you think? This vlog, like all of these vlogs, people, it's just me rambling on about what I've been up to, possibly a little bit of what I've been doing on the channel, which hasn't been anything really apart from one episode of Path of Exile 2 since the last time we spoke. I might sit down though, people. And just a general chit chat really as to what I've been up to. And what I've got for Christmas, I think we'll talk about, people. Oh, you know, I'd share it with you people if I could. So, here we are, back in the chill, people. Here's Max. You get a close-up of him. It's much, much steadier on these selfie sticks, isn't it? I mean, he says, shaking. Oh, swap hands, people. So, I did mean to get the boxes out, actually, but they're down by the PlayStation 5 Pro. So, I got 2 game presents, people, from Aaron Brew. And we got Cyberpunk 2077, or whatever it's called. It's 2077, that's right, isn't it? Cyberpunk 2077, and it came with the DLC for Liberty City as well, so it was the whole thing. And I think when I put it in to install it, there was a fairly significant download for it, so I'm not sure if that version on the disc is actually any better than the version that came out originally or not. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if any of the patches are on that disc. I think I've got the impression it's still the base game that was released, and you then get the massive download to patch it all up. Anyway, it didn't take that long. But I think it was about 28 gig or something, the update, which isn't by any means the biggest I've ever seen on a game. And the Liberty City part was just a code inside the box, so I've now redeemed that against my profile, and I've got that installed, so that's me owning that now. So that's there ready to go whenever I feel the need for Cyberpunk, which is supposed to be a great game, but it's a good choice because I would never have gone and bought that myself. But now that I've got it, that's not true. If I'd seen it cheap enough, I probably would have bought it and then given it a go at some point. But it would have been a while down the road, I think. I think in the sales, I think it is still, I think it's £20 again, or it certainly was last I looked. There's some really good bargains actually on the PSN sale for January now as well. We seem to go from Black Friday a week, I think, a week or two of back to normal prices, and then we were straight into the sort of January sale before Christmas had even got here. So anyway, we'll come to that. We've got, what was the other present I got? I got Lies of P, which is a Dark Souls-esque type game, people. Although I think it might be a bit more like Bloodborne than Dark Souls, but it's a Darkborn Souls, whatever. But it's the closest thing to a Dark Souls game you'll get, so far as people have told me. It's one of the ones. I know there's a lot of games that try and be like Dark Souls, but this one apparently is as close as damn it to that sort of game. So I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm gonna do some of that on the channel just so you guys can see a bit of it. And I know you guys like hearing me swear a bit anyway. If it's going to be one of those sorts of games, it's a high likelihood that I'll start cursing and swearing people. So I've got those 2 games to be cracking on with. Blimey, people, eh? Still, after my accident, my fingers still crooked. Still can't straighten them, the 2 middle ones. I always notice it when I'm doing stuff like this and I start moving my hand around. You can still see it. I mean, the beauty is that I have now got the movement of a hand back. I had an accident, people, and I basically dislocated everything in this hand and sliced open the 2 fingers here. So they've taken it was a year ago October, so I don't know. It might be that I go back to the doctor and say, "Is there anything I can do to try and straighten them up a bit more?" See what happens. But I mean, it's fully functional. It doesn't, I can game people. That's the main thing. So it's sort of fully functional in that regard. Can use it. But they did say I'll have arthritis forever in that hand now because of how they had to repair it all. But so it does ache when I use it, but it's livable. People livable. Anyway, we digress. So those were the two games for Christmas that I got. I treated myself to. I was looking through the sales on PSN, and I noticed that the Mass Effect trilogy remastered, or whatever it was called, definitive edition, or whatever whatever it's called now, people, that was down to £5. People, £5. I think it was £5. It might have been £4 something, but it might have been £5 something. But £5, I'm calling it, in this country. So it was well cheap. And I do already own it for the Xbox, but I thought I'm going to be doing most of my playing on the Pro now because I've got it. So I thought I'll grab it. And I knew that they all played at 60 FPS. Well, I knew I'd heard that 60 FPS was playing certainly on the first one, and I'd tried that on the Series X as well, and it was 60 FPS. So I was pretty confident they were all 60 FPS. So I bought that for £5. And I've actually been completely hooked on Mass Effect 1 for pretty much the duration of since we last spoke on the last vlog. I'm trying to remember if I'd bought it on the last vlog or not, and I might have mentioned it in the last vlog. But yeah, for £5, I thought I'll absolutely get those, and they're in my library at that point forever. And I've been absolutely loving it. I've been absolutely loving it. I'm playing this FemShep again, like I do, and I'm just absolutely. I can't believe how engrossed I've got in it. Like straight off the bat, I was just really engrossed in the story again. I stand alone, people, in saying that Mass Effect 1 is my favourite Mass Effect. I understand most people that I speak to think the second one is the best one. And there is a curve of people that prefer the third. But for me, the first one was the one that I loved the most. And I think it's because it's a proper RPG. Like the others became more action games than they were RPGs. The first one's far more an RPG than the other two. And I think that's why I love it so much. And it's got quite a tight story. It's got, you kind of know who your main villain is. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end-ish. I mean, we realise there's an opening left there for a second game. But you get a full arc of a story. You've got the main bad guy, and you've got a proper RPG in the middle of it all. I mean, it still fascinates me, right, that the first portion of that game, of which is a number of hours walking around the Citadel. I mean, you get a bit of action first, then you end up at the Citadel, which is the big floating city sort of thing. And there's so many quests in there that are like, so you do a whole bunch of stuff that's not even going around the galaxy yet. You're literally just doing all of you don't have to do them all, but I always clean up all the quests in there. And I mean, I spent a good number of hours in there. And there's a few quests where you get into gunfights and stuff, but an awful lot of it is just talking to people and finding clues and finding things and going around from A to B finding people. And it's just a really, really good, it's quite a brave thing to do in a game these days to keep, because there is some action in there, but most of it is just talking to people and that BioWare essence of like the game being more than just the sum of the action parts, if you know what I mean. So the action's there and you know it's going to be coming, but you've got loads of this sort of dialogue and interest to do. And it's still fascinating. I always forget, like I've played this game multiple times in the past, and I always forget just how much there is to do in the Citadel before you actually go anywhere in the galaxy. But you could have left the Citadel long before I did. I'm playing all this off camera, people. It's not something I'm recording. But yeah, absolutely loving it. I'm now onto my second planet at the moment. Well, one was an asteroid, in fact. The first place I went to was an asteroid and did a big bunch of fighting there and saved a planet from certain doom. And then second planet I've gone to is there's another whole story going on there. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's really, really good. And I love the conversations with people. I love the fact you can be a paragon or a whatever, good or bad sort of thing. And the whole thing is just absolutely superb, and I've been really engrossed in it all over again, people. So I'm going to be continuing to play the ass out of that for the foreseeable future, off camera as my guilty pleasure. And then I've got the other two to play if I want to hop from that straight into another one. But I can't see me doing 3 Mass Effects back to back. But there you are. So I've not done much in the way of recording. I did do 1 episode of Path of Exile 2, not yesterday, day before I think it was, or thereabouts. Just to keep things ticking over and give a bit of company to somebody on. I think that was Boxing Day actually. I recorded it. Yes, I think it was yesterday and posted it up yesterday, or it might have been the day before. I forgot what day it is, people. And then now that I'm off for 2 weeks, I've got no idea what day it is, what's happening. I think it was Aaron Bruce said something to me yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, it's Friday, and it's the weekend. Like every day feels like a weekend at the moment. So there you go. So I've got plenty to be getting on with games-wise. I'm not going to touch Cyberpunk yet because that's something for further down the road. But it's there, it's installed, and it's ready to go. I've got so many games installed, people, on the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's just heaven. I think it's possibly the best thing about the PlayStation 5 Pro is it's 2 terabytes worth of storage. It's just unbelievable how many games I've got stored on there. And I still think I've got about 400 gigabyte left. It's just like, never known anything like it, people. It's just heaven. I think with the original PS5, you only got, although it said it was a terabyte, you only actually got about 680 gig of it or something. It was a very low amount of what you actually should have got, I think. So I think I only ever managed to get about 5 games on it, and then I had to delete something to make room. So it's just been a touch of heaven being able to install all of this stuff, and some of it can be deleted now. What else have I tried? I don't know if I talked about this in the last vlog, but I might have done, but I tried out the Aliens Dark Descent game because it was on the PlayStation Plus. And I did talk about this. I got the PlayStation Plus just to move my saves up to the cloud so I could move them onto the Pro. And I thought, well, while I've got it, I'll try, because I've been wanting to try the game but didn't want to pay out full whack for it. And it's the closest, it's the best Alien game I've seen, I think. The whole vibe of it really gets you into that second Aliens movie, Colonial Marine type thing going on. But I stopped playing it solely because there was a lot to think about, and I didn't want to play something where I was having to think about a whole bunch of stuff, because it ends up being it doesn't play like XCOM for its action. It's a bit more real time than that. It's kind of a similar thing, but it's not quite like that. It's not quite as it's not turn-based like that. It's all kind of happening at the same time, and you've got to make your decisions. When you go to pick a move, it slows things down a little bit, but it's all happening in real time. But you do move a squad around like that. But it does have that hub where you've got to sort of do laboratory stuff, sciencey stuff, and heal your Marines and all. So you've got these different areas to take care of. So you've got all that sort of stuff to do in it. And I was just kind of like, well, I've not got it in me to do that at the moment. So it's definitely a game I might come back and visit at some point. The only thing I found was it was a little bit frustrating moving around the map sometimes, trying to figure out where I actually was. I couldn't quite figure out what direction I was bloody facing in half the time. It's a good map, to be fair, but I couldn't quite figure out where I was in it half the time. Well, I knew where I was, but I couldn't figure out what direction I was facing and stuff like that. So there's maybe little things that could be tweaked and tidied up in it. But all in all, it's probably the best Alien game I've seen made. I mean, really made me feel like I was in that second film. It was really, really good. So yeah, if anyone's tempted with it on PlayStation Plus, add it to your library and you give it a go at some point. It's a bit of a treat. If you love Aliens, it's a bit of a treat to play. It gave me a real buzz for a good couple of hours, and I think I will revisit it at some point when I've got a bit more thought process going on in my head, when I can be bothered thinking about stuff. So I've also done that as well, off camera. But once the Mass Effect was downloaded for £5, that was dumped, and I've still got it installed, but I can uninstall that now, I suppose, for now. I suppose actually now it's in my library. I don't ever have to really buy it. I suppose if I ever want to give it another go, I can just pay for Plus for a month and give it another whirl there, because it's only $6.99, isn't it, for a month worth of Plus, which I've now cancelled, but it's still running until early January, I think. What else has been going on, people? Well, outside of gaming, I hadn't been. Anyone that follows the channel knows I do a bit of running, people. A bit of running. Try to stave off the naughty foods that I eat, people. But I do, and have always sort of regularly ran on the channel. We get the lightsaber in, shall we? And I hadn't been able to run for a best part of a couple of months, and it was really self done because it was a self imposed rule really because my left heel was just killing me, and when I read up on it, it said the only way you can sort it out is to stop running. So I've just stopped running for a bit. I've been doing walking with Max though. Anyway, decided to go for a run a few days back. So I've done this was 4 days ago, I think it was. I went for the first run. And it was one of those, the first few minutes, I was like, oh, actually, this isn't too bad. Like, the walk-ins obviously kept me in fair enough shape. I normally do about an 8.4k, right? So when I went out, I thought, I'm not going to be able to do that, so just try and do a 5. Anyway, 5 minutes in, I'm like, this is hard work on my lungs, this. And then my legs start feeling it a bit, you know. But the walk-in with Max definitely did help, though, because I got to the turning point of the halfway of a 5k. And so about 2.5k it would have been. And I thought just try and push it a bit further and try and do a 6k so you get to the halfway, turn around, come back. Anyway, managed to push it all the way to do my normal turning point for the 8.4k and then made it all the way back for 8.4k. And I was walking very funnily for about... I'm trying to remember what day this was. I think it was the day before... I think we're going back more than 4 days. It was the day before Christmas Eve, I think. Or it was Christmas Eve, one or the other. But then Christmas Day and Boxing Day, I was walking around quite gingerly. And then I got, I thought I would do another run on Boxing Day, but I didn't because my legs still felt pretty worn out. So I did another one yesterday, and my legs were feeling it a bit, but I managed to push out the same distance and managed to. Well, my time was like well over 6 minutes per k on the first run. And then on this one, it was 5:51, I think, per k. So I've managed to shave off a fair bit of time. My times before I stopped running were probably around 5:40 odds, 5 minutes 40 odds per k, which is pretty decent for a man of my years. People, you know, I'm quite happy with that. So anyway, I've managed to get that going again, which is good because I needed some maintenance. People, I've been eating a pile of shite, people. I have not been eating a pile of shit. I've been eating so much shit for the last week and a half now. Because I did that, I think I might have mentioned it in the last vlog, but I did like a 3-week 1,000 calories or less during the week from Monday to Friday sort of thing. To try and shave off some weight before it got to Christmas, because I knew I was going to cheat at Christmas. So I'm glad I did it now. And now that I have eaten all that shit, I've managed to get my maintenance going again with the running, just to try and keep it at bay a bit. So pretty happy. So we'll do another run probably, well, if I've had a few cheeky beers tonight, probably not tomorrow. It'll probably be the day after tomorrow. What's that? 28, 29, 30, yeah, day before New Year's Eve then, people, I think. There you are, people, and we're coming up for 2025. Fucking hell, people, what the hell? Honestly, like I keep looking back at things, like I'll see things and think, how is that long ago? Like, you know what I mean? Like, surely that series didn't finish 20 years ago. It's just bloody frightening how fast the time's going these days. I've always said, like, I've never been worried about my age. I always thought I'm just going to grow old gracefully. Like, there's anything you can do, people. You know, we all grow older. Even you young'uns out there, we all grow older. You know, like, you can't stay young forever. And the only thing you can do is grow old gracefully and just, you know, you are where you are and you enjoy life as best you can. So I've never let age bother me, not to any great degree. It's only as you get older, you realise just how bloody fast time's going, people. You know, when you're young, you feel like it's going to go on forever. When you probably around I think probably the run up to 40 is when I started noticing how fast it was going. Because that 40 starts heading towards you quite quickly. And then once you're into your 40s, I mean, it just seems like everything's happening so fast. Like every year just vanishes. It's just unbelievable how quickly it seems to be going away. But yeah, I mean, I can't believe we're into 2025, people. It seems like only yesterday it was the turn of the millennium. You know what I mean? And I still had hair. Those were the good old days, people, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, it is what it is, and I haven't got any plans for New Year's Eve or anything. It's going to be quite a quiet one for me and Max here. So we'll just sit in. I might even have a bevy, to be fair. I mean, I was in the mood for one today because we'd sort of sorted this area out, getting rid of Max's crate and getting everything back to my little chill out thing, you know. Had a little buzz on to do a vlog for you guys and say hello once again. So I thought, well, yeah, I'll have a little beer tonight. And I mean, this might be it. This might be all I have for the new year now. Oh, it's ice cold, that. However, you never know, though. As we approach New Year's Eve, I might get a hankering for another tipple. But I haven't drank on New Year's Eve for quite a few years now, I don't think, that I can remember. Certainly not last year or the year before. So it's usually, if I do have a tipple around this time of year, it's not actually on New Year's Eve. I normally just chill out, watch Jules Holland, and then go to bed, really. But nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit boring, people. But if you've got a party to go to, it's a different thing. Back in the day, we used to do something for New Year's Eve all the time. But now it's just kind of like, well, I think maybe it's as you get. If you've got a big group of people and they're hosting a party at the house or something, it's good to go to it. But if you've nothing else going on, just sit in quietly. It's fine. Anyway, you never know, people. You might get another vlog from me yet on New Year's Eve. Hello, everybody. I decided to have a wee berry, and I'm saying hello again. I'll put the Scottish accent on for you, eh? Anyway, there you are, people. I think that's probably all I have to say to you. I thought I would just come on and share what's happening with my t-shirt, people. It's all coming forward. I thought I would just come on and share my Christmas presents with you and what I've been up to, and just say hello, really. I did suggest in the last vlog that I might do a proper full-on vlog with all the cool videos smelted in and stuff like I do sometimes. But I've just not felt the need to do it, people. There's not really been enough going on for me to do it. And this is quite nice, actually. I quite like doing these. And this selfie stick's coming into its own. And if you guys are happy with the sound coming out of these headphones, let me know in the comments below what you think of the sound that you get from this microphone. I mean, I understand the Rode NT mic is always going to be the daddy, or let me know in the comments below if you know of a better mic to use with an iPhone. I did buy a clip-on one, but it doesn't matter which one I buy, it's just quite heavy, and then you end up with this t-shirt pulled down or what have you. So I did try looking for one that you put on your ear, like a Bluetooth headset, but the problem is the sound quality on those ones doesn't seem to be as good. The best sound seems to come out of these wired ones. So anyway, let me know in the comments below if you know of a better solution for a microphone on an iPhone. But if you guys are happy with this for the on-the-fly vlogs, then I am. But the sound, from what I can tell, when I listen to it back, when it's been posted and everything, or even just listening to it back now as I stop, it sounds good to me. But it just isn't as pristine as the Rode NT microphone, because that's just a beast of a mic. It's just a proper podcasting one. But I think for doing this sort of stuff, it's fine. But let me know in the comments below anyway, if it's right, wrong, or indifferent, or if you know of a better solution. I did buy another mic one much earlier, and I'll have spoken about it in a vlog at some point. In fact, I think I did half a vlog with it using it. The problem was that when it cut off and stopped working, I had no idea. So I'd talked into the camera for about 30 minutes and there was no sound because it had completely cut off. So it plugged into the bottom of the phone, but there was no wire. And then I just clipped a thing to my t-shirt. But you didn't know it had cut off. It didn't tell you. Or you had to look right from the side of it to see a little light if it had gone. Anyway, it didn't work out. So yeah, to this day, it's still these earbuds that are the best thing to use. I suppose the other option is to get the wireless earbuds. I don't know if the quality of sound would be as good. I know they'll be using Bluetooth, obviously, but we need to try that out. Not cheap, though, those earbuds from Apple. But it might be that the quality of the headset microphone on those is as good as the wired one. Then I could get rid of the wire and just use the wireless earbuds, which might be a bit nicer to look at, I suppose. So that might be something to look at. Hey, maybe there's something to treat myself to next year, eh? Well, there you are, people. I think that's all I've got for you. If I say any more, people, I'll just be rambling on. Who wants that, eh? Nobody, that's who. I've managed to talk for half an hour about not much. Cheers to you all. Flagons up, people. Flagons up to you all. Will we get the flagons up symbol of the glass in? Flagons up, people. It actually says it on the glass. A present from Aaron Brew from a few years back. Cheers to you all. Well, if I don't see you again before New Year, I hope you've all had a really, really, really happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to each and every one of you, no matter whether you've been with me from the start or whether you've been from me in the middle or just joined. I hope you're all having a really nice holiday as best you can. To those that have had to work in this time, I feel for you, people. I used to have to do it back in the day. But I hope you have a fantastic New Year. As I say, you may well see me again before then if I decide to do a little tipple and a vlog on New Year's Eve. But if I don't, Happy New Year to you all, and here's to all the best in 2025, people. It has been an honour and a privilege serving for you in this vlog of mine today, and I shall catch you all in the next one, folks. Take it easy. Bye.